All right, so this next part of the unit for this week for the cover letter is helping you begin to start to establish uh, sentence frameworks for paragraphs for your cover letter. So we're still in the brainstorming process and allowing you to put down and create ideas. But now we're at toward the end, we're going to begin to start to transition into you like blocking those ideas into actual thoughts so that you can write those down. You already yesterday um, created your intro sentence or your intro thought or a few sentences or paragraph, whatever, just kind of introducing yourself to the reader with regards to that and the whole why why you're writing the letter. Okay, so this next worksheet is worksheet 2. So what we want to know is what is your dream job? So again, right now you don't have to write it down. Just kind of hear me out as I explain it. If you feel like you have the time or you already know, you can write in notes and so forth. But better for you to just write in notes on what I'm saying, like on the side of your page or whatever, so that when you go through this on your own, you kind of have an idea if there's a question that comes up, maybe what I've said already to you kind of spurs on some thought process. And you have the notes on the side of your page that can help you out with answering questions. Obviously, I'm here to answer questions if obviously you need that as well. So what's your dream job? The next one is unpaid job internship. So that you could acquire now to assist you in gaining work experience, to make you more qualified once you have the education required to apply for your dream job. So now it's you, what is and I know some of this is a little redundant from the day before, and yesterday's work was a little redundant from the previous work you did with regards to note cards on passions and so forth and goals and whatnot. So they're every week or every day, I should say, with regards to these assignments and these worksheets, there is some redundancy. So you may be repeating yourself over again slightly. But again, what is the best internship opportunity for you right now? What would that be? What does that look like? Is it, as we talked about before on the previous sheet, is it a fire explorer, a police explorer? Is it a volunteer position at a hospital? Maybe some of you are not at all interested in medicine. Maybe it's that you have a very strong desire to work as a mechanic on cars. And maybe you're in this class and maybe you're also in the auto class as well. That's fine. So that internship opportunity might be working at a local mechanic tire shop, or it could be working at a, I don't know, Pet Boys or something of that nature where you could go in and job shadow and work and oversee or I should say observe what's going on in that workplace. So for you, based on your thought process and what your aspirations may be, what is that for you right now? That has to be definitely defined as you complete this letter. So skills that other applicants, your competition wouldn't have. So what skills do you possess that would set you above the rest of your competition to put you in first place and landing the job that you apply for relating to your career? So let me explain that a little bit. A skill has to be supported by an experience that proves that your skill is legitimate enough to make a strong enough impression on the employer to hire you. So I'll explain that in a little bit as well. So here it says list below 5 skills So a skill has to be supported by an experience that proves your skill is legitimate enough to make a strong enough impression on your employer to hire you. So list below 5 skills, and next to each skill, provide the supporting experience. So example, skill, leadership. So you would put down your skill is leadership. And then the experience would be, for example, you earned a lead role for Mean Girls in the high school play. Another experience could be you earned captainship for your soccer team. There has to be an experience that is backing up your skill. Because when it comes down to your interview and somebody asks you, hey, Caleb, what makes you qualified for this position? Why should I hire you? And you say, well, I'm a good leader. And you don't back it up with anything that relates to your leadership capabilities, you're kind of leaving them wanting more information. So it's a thought process that you give them that's incomplete. So they're kind of waiting and wanting more. All right, well, what makes you a good leader? Now, they shouldn't have to ask, well, Kayla, what makes you a good leader? Because if you don't already tell them, I'm a good leader, I develop leadership skills, and then you explain an experience. Oh, the last 3 years on the football team, I earned captainship of my team. The players I really felt that the players looked up to me, and they even gave me comments, and I got comments from the coaches that made me realize that I really took that team help take that team to the next level. We went to CIF finals, whatever it might be. There has to be some type of substance to that answer when it comes down to the interview. So when it comes down to the cover letter, and if you say on the cover letter, which will give you a compartment of that letter to basically indicate to the reader that you have certain skills that qualifies you for this job. We're not just going to say, I have good leadership skills, and on the letter say nothing else. We want to make sure that you have that backed up. Because again, when the interview comes and they're asking what makes you, and you say you're a good leader, you have good leadership skills, you're going to want to be able to provide some substance and some information on and an experience on what made you really feel that you were a good leader. So on this section, you're going to list 5 skills that you have. Now, this is going to be challenging for you, challenging for some of you. It's challenging for most of us. We could probably come up with 1 or 2 skills we really, really feel that we're good at. And maybe it's even difficult for us to come up with 1. Just because, like, okay, man, I really got to think about this. Like, what am I good at? Like, what? So I want you to think of 5, like 5 skills that you think you're good at. Maybe people have told you you're good at this. Maybe people have told you you have this skill. And what experiences have backed that up for you? Now, You might put on there, just for example, you might put on there writing. Well, what makes you a good writer? What has indicated to you that you're really good at writing? The experience could be a teacher has commented on your essays or whatever and says, man, you're a really good writer. Maybe a teacher has said to you in the past, you should be a journalist at some point, or you should write a book or whatever. Like, it could be any experience. A teacher or whatever has said something to you, has indicated to you that you're a good writer. Not, I'm a good writer, I get A's in English. Okay, it has to be something that's really, really tangible for that employer to really, really grab onto. For you, remember, you're trying to impress the person to hire you, to grab that, to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to read this, man, this letter's really good. I want to look at the man, I want to bring them in for an interview, because the goal is for you to get into the interview, is to acquire it. So let me just explain a little bit more about that. A skill, you could say communication. I'm a good communicator. Again, give me something, give the reader something about why you are a good communicator, what makes you feel that way. As we go through, I'll give you some examples on what's really not a good skill to put down, because everyone's going to put that down. A lot of people will put that down. Like, for example, people might put down caring. I'm caring. I'm caring for others. I care for others. I'm caring. So you want to be able to add more to that. What makes you feel like you care for others. Okay, so we really want to make sure that you're not just putting stuff down that everybody else would put down, because it doesn't set you above the rest with regard to your competition. So I left you some lines for the experience, put the skill, add the experience. There's 3 lines for the experience to back up your skill. Now, prior to now, you've listed passions that you may possess. Just remember, I'm recording this, and it's going to go. So just make sure we're careful on the discussions, because it will pick the microphone will pick it up. In a cover letter, it's important to utilize these passions and make your letter robust. A robust letter can make a lasting impression on your reader. A lasting impression can impact the reader enough to call you in for an interview. Being called in for an interview is a next step toward landing the employment opportunity. So again, as I mentioned before, that is the goal, is to make this letter compelling enough where you become it's interesting. They're interested enough, I should say, now to call you in. So below, list passions that most heavily define you. Now, you listed passions before. Maybe you had one. You put some passion on the card, even the previous sheet. We asked about passions. Now, list 3. Pick 3. What passions most heavily define you? Now, passion carries the capability of positively impacting your life. So below, choose one passion from the 3 above that you would choose to include in your cover letter. Once you choose that passion, write at least 4 sentences about how that passion potentially relates to your desire for pursuing this should be whited out, a certain related career. Just cross that out. So again, once you choose that passion, write at least 4 sentences about how that passion potentially relates to your desire for, for pursuing a certain related career choice. So, choose the passion. And how does that passion relate to what you want to do? So, my passion. So here's an example. My passion came from an experience. I fractured my leg in high school as a senior. After looking at the x-ray, after the surgery, I saw a fractured leg mended and fixed by a plate and 6 screws. So when I looked at that x-ray, I thought, man, that looks really cool. I would like to learn how to do that, or at least just learn about the bones. So that experience right away created a passion in my brain. It's like, I would like to do that. And so now all of a sudden I was like, I would like to pursue a career in something related to the bones, related to medicine. So I could probably come up with 4 sentences right there, right? Like 3 to 4 sentences based on experience, a passion that was created, and how that led to my career choice. Now, some of you may already have that experience and you've already developed some experience. It could be anything we talked about before, right? I told you about my friend, a fellow student that he took my class at Pasadena High School because his father passed away in front of him of a heart attack, and he developed a passion for wanting to help people because that experience changed his thought process. And not ever wanting to have to experience that again. And he wanted to just make sure he could help people prevent death from occurring as a result of a heart attack. I mean, that's 3 or 4 sentences right there regarding experience. So some people have experiences, they've developed passions, now they want to pursue a career. Now, if that's not the case and you're still kind of in the position where you're having difficulty determining, that's okay. We'll have some information down here for you. So some individuals may not have a passion that can help define them as a person, or has helped to begin to mold them. This should be into that person. A few typos here. Into that person. So again, or has helped to begin to mold them into that person that they are becoming or have become. Some individuals have an experience or experiences or a person here. Bigger. Or a person that has assisted them up to this point of their lives. So I'll read that again. Some individuals may not have a passion that can help define them as a person, or has helped to begin to mold them into that person that they are becoming or have become. Some individuals have an experience or experiences or a person that has assisted them up to this point of their lives. List any experiences you have had over the past few years that would qualify you for this internship position. So if you don't have a passion yet, but you may have experiences, list them. Whatever it is that relates to your desired pursuit. And then now the next one is, if you can't think of any experiences then begin to think of people that have positively impacted your life and any related experiences that you could include in your cover letter. So you don't have passion yet. That's okay. You don't have experiences yet. That's okay. We're going to go to people. What people have you've been surrounded by that you could include that have now positively impacted your life that you could include in your cover letter that relates to an experience that you could speak about that could compel and impact the reader to call you in for an interview. It could be mom, it could be dad, it could be older brother, it could be older sister, it could be aunt, uncle, cousin. It could be anybody that has impacted your life in a way that now has allowed you to feel, I've seen somebody, I've observed somebody, this individual, I've seen what they do, they've mentored me, I want to be like them. They might not do the same thing you want to do, or maybe they do. Maybe they're a nurse, for example, and you've seen your mom as a nurse, and now you're like, man, I've seen what she's done for people as a nurse. I've seen the type of person she is. This is something that, because of what I've seen, I would like to potentially pursue the same thing. And then the last is list any characteristic trait. Let's see. Just do this. About yourself that could set you above the competition in the eyes of the employer. You can also include items from anywhere above. So this is where you put, like, I really am a strong, caring person. So that's an example. You care for others, you feel the need to help people, things like that. So I'll let you carry on with this right now. You have the rest of the class period to begin to complete it. It's not all going to be due today, but do the best you can to begin to complete it. I'll ask you to come up at the end of class, or I'll ask you to submit what you have to Google Classroom, so I could at least see that some things has been done. You have 25 minutes, 22 minutes. So we should be able to get quite a bit of work done. Please, whatever you do, don't waste the 22 minutes. Make sure that you take advantage of the time provided.